you're just joining, we're obviously going over the most recent KP stuff. We did talk about Beckett's first video that he did on KP and about Saberspark's video that he also did. And now we're moving on. We attempted to try to watch Emmy's video on her response, could not get through it. Now we're moving on to KP. Or of the more recent stuff. And also just a quick heads up that we currently have the goal up. We're 4 out of 5. Let's get Channel Fund and get Mr. Huck either out of the dryer or in the dryer, depending on your point of view. And we have lots of different streams that we've got covered for you guys this week, which I'm very excited for. So like and subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, shameless plug done.
Including grooming, power dynamics, and online harassment. Viewer discretion is advised. 18 plus content warning. Do not harass anyone discussed in this video. Hi everyone, welcome to the video. For those who don't know me, I'm the YouTuber ILove kimpossiblealot, which is a very long name, but I'm known as KP on online spaces. I mostly do Disney and cartoon and media analysis, but we aren't here for that today. Today we're here to talk about another video I did recently that didn't go over so well.
Yeah.
The video was
That's what I was thinking too. Like, ooh. Yeah, in her interview that she had with Beckett, it wasn't that bad, but yeah, in the interview that she had with Beckett, she was annoying there too a little bit.
Intended to be a conversation about problematic behaviors in online spaces, community safety, especially concerning children, and my own experiences regarding certain YouTubers and content creators named in this video. However, even the best of intentions can go awry, and it's safe to say that mine certainly did, causing unintended...
The best of intentions can go awry? Is that what you... Really? Really? Yeah, exactly, Abyssal. The tone is severely off. Yeah, it's just like with her first fucking video. God, her first video was... I remember watching some of that, chat. I couldn't. I think I got like halfway through, and I was like, this is... Oh my god. This is so bad.
Harm and confusion in a situation where clarity and resources are paramount. The video in question went live on my channel in May earlier this year, being removed within hours of upload since I understood the message did not come off as what I intended.
As what you intended? Bro. Here's my question. And I'm just curious about this, chat, and I don't know if anybody's going to be able to answer me this. And this is something that I asked, Ant, is that what you guys called him? This is what I asked him earlier. How and why did she get this story? And I think that what Ant said in his response makes sense. Because he gave a little bit more of a, in-depth, in-depth analysis, I guess you could say. But, and I don't know what her video was like about this, but apparently, and we'll get into it, he thinks, and I kind of agree with him, that because of the Lily Orchard video that she did, I guess, that's why she got this story and she ran with it. I don't fucking know. That's his guess, and I guess that would make sense. Most of you would probably know about that more than I do. But again, I still don't understand how and why she did this. She's high? She's like Caseytron 42 No! I don't know if that makes it worse or better. Oh, that's still not good.
I haven't yet spoken on the issue publicly, choosing to take time and space to be able to address legitimate concerns of the video with a clear head and level emotions. For those of you who still have no idea what I'm talking about, earlier this year I released a video about the online actions of DA Games associates Chris Deficianatos and Will Ryan, another YouTuber named Steven, or Saberspark, and the association between them that creates a danger.
Okay. Now this, I will say this, chat. I tried. Yay!
His dick was out!
Metalman87 super chatted $5. Fine, have your goals. Free.
Thank you, Metal Man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. And Abyssal, I don't know. Thank you, chat. Woohoo! We hit the goal. Yay! Thank you, thank you. Appreciate you. Let's do... Oh, wait, hold on. While we're doing that, there you go. There you go, chat. You know what that means. Okay, here we go. There you go. Thank you again, chat. Greatly appreciate you. Hi, Reese. I did get the video off the screen. I'm showing the goal. Spin the huck, true. There you go. There you go, chat. Yes, fire animation as always. Cannot. I love this too fucking much. Love it, love it, love it. All right, before we go back, let me get off that screen. There we go. All right. Now, as I was getting ready to say before we hit that goal, thank you again, Middleman. I attempted to try to understand to a certain degree what, and this was from me watching her first video, as to how Saberspark was related to any of that. And it turns out that I don't remember exactly, but didn't Saber hire or have one of the people of DA Games like on his payroll or something? And that's how she got him. I don't know. I remember they were linked in that regard somehow, I think. Again, I could be misremembering. Ooh. See, Reese, we didn't get a chance to watch that earlier because we were getting into the KP stuff because it's a lot. I'm saving that for tomorrow. Teehee. Teehee. And to, give Burn a little bit of time to pay up. See if he does or not. I doubt it. Oh, I'm sure I will. Okay, yes, Chris was an editor for Saber. Okay. And that's when... Okay, yeah, so I tried to, again, wrap my head around this initially when it was first coming out, but I just couldn't, chat. It was too fucking much.
As well as third-party testimony of additional interactions with Stephen. The third-party testimony includes accusations of SA from a person named Emily, accusations I platformed on a video that in hindsight wasn't suited for testimony that heavy. Some other notable issues that were pointed out about my video was the tone.
Okay.
The general consensus was that the tone throughout the video was jokey and that I came across as making light of some serious accusations and
Well, you did. Your video was, from what I remember of it, was one of the worst videos I think that I have seen in a very, very long time. Your video seriously included movie clips, animation clips, and things like that when you were talking about a goddamn essay story. Sleek, leave her alone. You leave Emily alone. This Emily, Kangalop Emily, you leave her alone. She's a protected class. Kangalop is a protected class. Sir. Anyway. Yes, you are innocent, Kangalop. I agree. Listen, not all Emilys are bad, alright? Yeah, she was, legitimately, light joking about that video. It was one of the worst videos I think that I have ever attempted to try to get through and ever see. Right? I'm sure that there's probably been worse out there, not gonna lie, but still. It was really, really bad. Yeah, okay. Let's see what else she has to say, chat.
Conversations, as well as my social media postings leading up to the release of the video. My postings came across as bragging, clout chasing, and once again, that I was making light of a serious situation. I'd like to firstly apologize for anyone who was hurt by my tone, both throughout the video and on my socials. My joking and memeing was contained to my own experiences as I deal with my own trauma that way. I make...
Okay. Okay. that's still not an excuse. I mean, okay, yeah, it's one thing to like try to move on from oh god. I'm trying to think of how to say this. Okay, here we go. This is not anything, related to okay, this is a trauma thing. Okay? I've talked about this before. And again, I'm only talking about it because I'm trying to, give an example of something. Okay? If you guys were here last stream, you guys found out that Cool Anime Girls and Wookie did a bit of a trolling. They went and commented on the Hibbity church video that they love to watch at times, praying for Katie's baby and Vincent's baby. Okay? And by that they meant me, right? Or they told me that it was about me. Now, they forgot, and again, it's fine, I don't blame them. They forgot that I can't have kids anymore. And the reason why is because, again, talked about this before, that I had to have a hysterectomy 3 years ago because of cancer, all that other shit, right? At the time, was it very traumatic for me? Abso-fucking-lutely. Later on, have I made jokes about it? Have I tried to be a little bit more lighthearted about things like that? Because, again, what else am I gonna fucking do? Yes. Yes. But when it comes, and I'm sorry, there's a little bit of a difference. When it comes to having a traumatic event, yes, having cancer and things of that nature is extremely traumatic. Don't get me wrong. But there's a little bit of a difference with that compared to SA. There's some differences there, right? I mean, either way, again, it's still, whether you deal with that trauma in a joking way or whatever, okay, I guess, but not about someone else's experience. And not about someone else who is reporting a serious issue. Right? You can, I guess you can make the argument that women or men can do that if they want to because it's a trauma response. And I have heard of different situations like that, unfortunately. Okay? But when you are reporting on someone else's story about SA, I don't think that you want to make jokes about that. That's not something that you would ever do. Maybe if this, and again, as it's been pointed out, this was way outside of her fucking realm. And again, chat, and I've said this a million times before, when it comes to stories like this, you have to be extremely careful. You do. That is why and again, as Lio pointed out in the video, in the first video, that you go to the police. You don't go to a YouTuber, you go to the fucking police. If you legitimately feel that you know someone or you're being told about someone going through shit like that, you go to the police. End of discussion. You do not go to a YouTuber.
Dark jokes and make light of my own situations. Something I didn't realize was not universal and might come off as if the tone pertained to anyone's experiences that weren't my own. And
How did you not know that was universal? How? That makes no sense. And again, as it's been revealed, you're a trust fund woman or whatever, trust fund baby, okay? But that still doesn't excuse any of this.
I do want people to understand that it was directed at my own experiences, but I'm sorry that it didn't translate properly. Another thing I'd like to personally address is Courtney Pete and her treatment of another CSA.
Okay, so this is where it gets interesting, chat, and I know that Beckett is live talking about this woman right now because this woman is fucking unhinged from what I've seen. Jesus Christ. So for those of you who do not know, and most of you do, Courtney is the sister of Lily Orchard. She was essayed by Lily, and that much I know, and that's absolutely horrific. But what Courtney has done since has really caused major problems. And again, I haven't really looked into it too much with her, because again, that's a whole fucking mess in and of itself from what I gather, but that's the general consensus, of her. So, I know that there's more. I'm sure that there's more. Maybe at one point we can get to it I don't know if it'll ever happen. Maybe if we can, sometime next week, we can maybe do a little bit more background into her, possibly. But for the sake of time, and for the sake of my sanity, that's just the brief TLDR about her for those that don't know. And again, like I said, chat, I'm sure that there's more context to it than that, but that's what I know. So,
Say survivor in the live chat of the video premiere. I have spoken to both Courtney and the affected individual, apologize on Courtney's behalf, and going forward, since she doesn't want to apologize herself, I'm cutting public ties with her.
Okay, so she says here that she's cutting public ties. Yeah, from what I understand, she hasn't. That much I know, I think, at least. I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. But yeah, there's a bit of a contradiction with that statement. Yeah, Kevin, he did it the other night. He's doing it again tonight. And again, like I said, I know that Courtney is a very troubled person. I'm sure that what happened to her is absolutely horrific. I have no doubt of that at all. But she cut public, not private ties. Yeah, that's dumb.
While I can't control the actions of another grown individual, I can control how and if she is associated with my work and channel. Now I'd like to take some time to go over my original intentions of the video, the conversation I wanted to start, and the message that fell short. Steven, or Saberspark, employs an editor by the name of Chris, who owns a Discord server. Chris is also employed by Will, who owns the DA Games Discord server. There are a lot of names to keep track of, I know. Will has a passive posting pornographic, racist, incestuous, and anti-Semitic content.
Oh my god!
In both his and Chris's servers. His own server, the...
Okay, ma'am. Oh, God. What is with people not censoring out enough shit? Seriously?
The DA Games server having children as young as 11, maybe younger.
What? I'm sorry, Satan's gay cat. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. What? Bro.
With access to these posts. Not only do children as young as 11 have access to this content, but there are also children as young as 12 given mod status. The same...
Wait, what?
Have access to this content, but there are also children as young as 12...
Wait a minute, hold on. Also, you should read her Twitter from today. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Yen, do you want to send that to me? I'd appreciate it. You can DM it to me and I'll get it pulled up. Okay, what proof? Oh, God. This just shows a screenshot. It doesn't show anything else. It doesn't show the name. It doesn't show a timestamp. It doesn't show a date. It doesn't show anything. What is this supposed to fucking prove? Dude! Are these... Okay, wait a minute. Were these accusations about Chris and Will, I guess is their names, having minors in their Discord, was that something that got brought up before? Because if it was, I missed that. But then again, back when all of this was first going on, chat, I didn't know all of which one was which at the time. Yeah, DA Games is fucked, but KP ruined it. All the witnesses left the internet, and Will got off scot-free because of her. Oh. Oh, I see. So because the person was shitposting what looked like people joking over the ages, they were probably doing this because they knew it was some dented KP app. I see. Well, good job there, KP. Congratulations.
Given mod status. The same server also has a man accused of and arrested of child grooming. This is Will's own views on how children should be interacted with online, with some 12-year-olds are more mature that...
Brain broke trying to even say this out loud, bro.
Some 40-year-olds. I'd like to point out that this is a groomer...
Are you kidding me? You went to go try and find KP's... Bro. Someone will yell at me! No, Abyssal. No. Disavow. No. Oh, Jesus Christ. What did she... Oh, this is Courtney's Twitter. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah,
mentality. This is the same sort of language used to make a child feel special and grown up when receiving inappropriate attention from grown people online or off. Not to mention that Discord's own terms of service state that the users must be 13 to even be on the platform, terms Will and Chris seem to be happy to help children break. How and why does this pertain to Steven? Well, frankly, I see an issue with the content creator employing someone who directly contributes to inappropriate interactions with children online by providing a space where it's normalized, welcome, and defended. I see an even bigger...
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so this is from 2023. You did payment should be inbound here soon, but I wanted to run a question by you. I had someone approach me here on Discord with a matter that allegedly involved you and KP and some deviant behavior that apparently you bragged about. I don't take these things lightly with the people I work with, but I also don't want to automatically believe a potential rumor. Is there any validity to these claims? That's something I need to know about with the people I employ. I hope you see where I'm coming from with this question. KP and I resolved that issue a few days ago, actually. Okay, so everything is okay then, if you don't mind me asking. Not that it's not my business to know details, but just making sure all is good and on the level with the people who work with me and the team. Everything's fine now, yes. It was resolved amicable. She wouldn't want me to divulge anything if that's all right. Her privacy is important. Understood, just doing my part to be vigilant with my own people. Glad you all are resolved, leaving it at that. Much appreciated. Okay, so he was asking, and this is Chris, not Will. Again, I don't fucking know anymore. But again, this is him asking if the rumors are true. And Chris is saying no. Hi, Leo. And Chris is saying no. Now, from what I'm gathering, that was a lie? Question mark? But, Saber didn't even know what was going on in DA Games. KP only told Saber about SA joke. Aha! I see. Okay, so from what, again, chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I'm gathering, Chris lied to Saberspark. At least that's what I don't know. I could be mislooking at this, and if I am, please tell me. But that's what from what, was said a minute ago, that's what I'm gathering.
Online by providing a space where it's normalized, welcome, and defended. I see an even bigger issue when that content creator has a history of posturing himself against child predators as being the voice that calls them out, but is fine to employ people who do this very thing he himself has condemned in the past.
What?
And it isn't as if Steven has no idea that this was going on under his nose. I myself had reached out to him directly and through at least 2 different people to look into the issue and do something about it. Despite my repeated efforts to bring this issue...
Sabersparker, I sent you an email on Monday. This was from January of 2025. Let me know if Steven will take this seriously and all. We can go from there. No. If he's going to take action or not, that's it. Okay, found KP's account finally. She mass deleted a lot of her tweets, and the only ones left are the recent response video link and some tweets for 2022. Okay. 3 years of tweets are gone. Shocker there. Color me shocked. This was from November 2024. I contacted Saber through some friends in common. Never heard about an official firing, though. This is from Saber. I was never contacted by any friend of yours, nor did you ever make any attempt to reach out to me on your behalf. Via Twitter, email, or anywhere else. You are omitting so much information right now, but I'll provide some here in a sec under your original post. Bruh. All this about the SA joke that made oh my fucking god. Time to nuke the timeline, bro. I hate it when people do that, seriously. I understand, like, wanting to, again, you can use your Twitter and your YouTube how you see fit. Or your Discord, too, I'll say that. Any social media platform, you can use it to however you see fit. Hi, Teddy. But, I'm sorry, but if you delete a bunch of things, especially 3 years worth of tweets, if you delete all of them, all of those in a 3-year time span, that's not good. That's not good. That does not help you. I wouldn't think anyway, especially with different accusations like this. I would not think that would help. Yeah. Listen, I've deleted a couple of things here and there of different tweets that, I think I've only deleted like a couple that I can think of off the top of my head. But again, I don't really tweet that often to begin with anyway. The only times that I really tweet, honestly, chat, is if I'm posting a picture or if I'm tweeting out about streams. That's it. That's really legitimately the only time that I ever tweet. I check Twitter on occasion, but that's the only thing that I really use Twitter for. Is for the channel. That's it.
Due to his attention, Steven never spoke to me or commented on the issue. Meanwhile, he was supposedly talking to someone else about the same issue with a third party, not to mention the fact that Chris himself
Daddy, I delete tweets all the time only to keep people guessing. That's fair, Teddy.
Has admitted to and bragged about a little sex crime that Steven brushed off as a sex joke. It should also be noted that in all of Steven's responses to the allegations, he has still not spoken on, condemned, or cut ties with Chris, Will, or Dia Games. And once again, for someone who not very long ago had plenty to say on whether Gabriel Brown was or wasn't a groomer, that child predation online is terrible, and he himself has been abused as a child, it seems odd that he has nothing to say about his own employees' child predation, even to condemn it.
Oh, dear God in heaven. Are you kidding me? That's very true, Metal Man. Things are never boring with Teddy. That's very true. Yes. Oh, my God. Wow. Here. Oh, my God.
Let alone him excusing masturbation onto a stranger's clothes. A buyer has...
Oh, yes. Okay. So, oh God, I forgot about this. I wanted to forget about this. Okay. So, for those of you who do not know about that part right there, long story short, Chris or Will, one of the two, made a joke about having a tribute made, if you will, in KP's clothes. That's all I will say, and because even that makes me grossed out even saying that. So, He didn't brush it off. He asked Chris what happened, and Chris told him the truth. KP forgave him, and it was over with. Nope, KP wanted blood. True. Yeah. Yeah, KP makes it out like it was real. Yeah, she still does. It was a joke. Now, was it something that is a normal joke to say? No. Is it a cringy ass joke? Yes. But it was still a joke nonetheless. And KP sounds like a superhero dog? True. I've said, yeah, that's probably true. Sleek, I probably have said worse. Yeah, you're probably not wrong. I probably have said worse. But yeah, just again, I don't want to say bleh. Just the thought of what he was joking about just makes me want to throw up. But yeah, no, I don't disagree with you there.
And sexual harassment as a joke. And now on to Emily. In regards to Emily's testimony and accusations against Steven, she has released her own video that will be linked in the comments, and I encourage people to go watch it and hear her story from her own mouth. While I don't regret believing someone, I do understand that I wasn't the best equipped to be the person breaking a story like that.
No, you don't say.
To the public for the first time. When it came to other people's coverage of the situation, whether or not they had spoken to me in person, a lot of my intent with the video and what I chose to platform in it was assumed. Concerns to me that are still much legitimate were and continue to be brushed off as clout chasing or jealous woman scorn mentality. People who have never spoken to me or heard my side of anything spoke with absolute authority on my intentions and desires, and people who did speak to me in person painted our conversations in a different light when presenting them to her own respective.
Really? Really? So everyone that covered you, yeah, a rare moment of self-awareness. Yeah, so really, so everyone that talked about you and everyone that you did interviews with, they were painting what you had to say in a different light. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Okay. Victim mentality right there. Oh my God, bro. Yeah, because everyone that you talked to, including Beckett, including Lazy, Bedhead, all of them, they were just painting a narrative. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Again, not taking fucking accountability.
Audiences. This led to a good number of people speaking down to me, harassing me, and sending me death threats largely based on the assumption that I was a bitter, jealous, stupid woman targeting an innocent, successful.
You are a bitter, jealous, stupid woman. You are. Now, again, if you were getting harassment or anything like that, then I highly, highly disavow that. But still, you are a bitter, stupid woman.
Intelligent man for the sin of not dating me. To which I'd like.
That's. Yeah. Pretty much what that boils down to, chat.
To respond by saying, Steven, I'm just not that into you. The same brush was used to paint over Emily's accusations and intentions, with even less people speaking to Emily herself. More can be learned about her experiences in the video linked below. Steven, however, was given grace, room to respond, and direct personal support from the same people claiming to be an objective voice of reason throughout the situation. When given his own testimony on the accusation.
Exactly, there it is, her odd thing where she thinks Saber wants to F her. Yeah, no one brought that up but you. No one brought that up but you.
Leveled against him, his own lapses in memory are not painted as proof of malicious lie. His own incorrect recollection of events, as proved by the screenshots he himself provided, are not painted as proof of a malicious lie.
I mean, you say you pulled away from her for the next few months, but I mean, because I've seen your DMs with her. Yep. So if you pulled.
Wait, that was a whole bunch of fucking mumbo jumbo. Hold on a minute.
However, was given grace, room to respond, and direct personal support from the same people claiming to be an objective voice of reason throughout the situation.
They were. Yeah, exactly. What do you mean? Speak to Emmy. You kept them anonymous. At first you did, yeah. Is that what you're referring to, Yen? Or are you referring to something else? Okay. Yeah, she was the one that wanted, her and Bonk both wanted to keep Emmy's wanted to keep Emmy anonymous because of what they were telling Beckett, or what KP told Beckett and other people, was because Emmy didn't want to come out and be known. She wanted to stay anonymous. She's doing what Emmy did, saying Saber misremembering the dates thing. Yeah, bro. Once again, just because his timeline is a little bit altered does not mean that he is Oh my god, you are so fucking stupid. Does not mean that he is guilty of all fucking charges. Oh my god.
When given his own testimony on the accusations leveled against him, his own lapses in memory are not painted as proof of malicious lie. His own incorrect recollection of events, as proved by the screenshots he himself provided, are not painted as proof of a malicious lie.
I mean, you say...
Okay, you just... Did she... Ma'am, it doesn't matter how many ways you fucking put it. You're wrong.
Pulled away from her for the next few months, but I mean... Because I've seen your DMs with her. Yep. So if you pulled away from her, I mean, it wouldn't be for months, Saber.
Not months. You know. I would say. I mean, I'd say November. No, I'm sorry. You're right. I'm getting my the increments wrong. But it was. I would say for the rest of November.
His own admission of trying to force a woman to take a pregnancy test against her will is not.
What? What? Oh, chat, I can't. Okay, I need to... Oh, I'm getting... Okay, I need to step away. For a second. Oh my fucking god, are you kidding? Okay, I need to... Okay, give me a second, chat. I will be right back. Oh my god. Metal Man for the 2. Pee on the stick, Emmy. Yeah, exactly. Like, he was a woman to take a pregnancy test against her will. Are you fucking kidding me? Kim, Rachel, whatever the fuck your name is, you're dumb. Pack it in. You're done.
Not seen as a violation of consent, privacy, and bodily autonomy, but instead as a horrible event he was made a victim of by the girl he had targeted.
Into the convention on a Sunday, I remember going over...
Wait a minute.
Made a victim of by the girl he had targeted.
He was made a victim of by the girl he had targeted? Oh, Chad, this is making me more mad than I thought that it would. Are you... Blue Jay, good call there, ma'am. Yeah, anyway. All right, chat. So there's that god-awful response. So now, last but not least, we get to the good stuff here. So now, last but not least, we have Beckett's response. Now, Beckett posted this about 3 days ago. Okay, here we go.
Hi everyone, welcome to the video.
ILove kimpossiblealot has finally released her response video, and to the surprise of precisely nobody, she has learnt nothing from this entire saga. Now, normally, I'd just do a stream segment and go over it, have a laugh, make some super chats, but in this case, I'm actually so annoyed by this response video that I think KP deserves something all to herself. So what we're going to do today is not just go over her response, but I'm also going to release many of the interview segments that for one reason or another were never included in the original video, as well as my DMs with KP, because I want to give you a glimpse behind the curtain, a peek into who KP really is. Because this woman is lying to you, and if she's not going to tell you the truth, then I will. Let's get into it.
Writing art, let's go!
Let's begin by talking about KP's response video itself, because it's actually a fairly wild ride of deflection. KP begins the video by taking accountability for at least the tone of the content. You know, that thing precisely 5 people cared about, one of whom was Brony Fandon't? If you're wondering whether KP really addresses the actual issues people have with her, the answer is of course she doesn't. In fact, if anything, she actually doubles down and adds new unheard accusations into her response for some reason.
The same server also has a man accused of and arrested of child grooming.
Now, I personally have never looked into the DA game's story, and I don't intend to start now, but what is interesting here is that KP just cannot help herself. She is basically a female just a robot.
Yes, 100%. Yes. 1000%. She is. Abso-fucking-lutely. They would make a great couple there, Abyssal. They would.
Robot, unable to contain her vindictive.
Is KP a brony? Yes and no. I think so. I don't know. No, she mainly covered like I think that she mentioned it. She mainly covered like Disney Channel stuff or something. Is she a brony? Oh, yeah, probably is. Okay. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, that's how she got her start. You're right. You right though. But she mainly covers, or she did anyway, mostly like other animation stuff besides My Little Pony. But yes, that's how she got her start. Yes, that's true.
Active rage against the people she feels have wronged her. And once again, KP just throws this accusation out there in a trust me bro moment, and firstly, I'm not even sure what the accusation is. KP, are you claiming that Will and DA Games are knowingly harboring sexual predators for some reason?
Yes. Yes, that's exactly what she's doing. Mm-hmm. Yep. Now, as someone pointed out earlier, apparently some of the things said about Will or Chris or whoever, I think it was Will in this case, he's sus from what it sounds like, and again, I could be wrong or could be misinterpreting, but he sounds sus, and because of KP's video, now all the allegations against him are pretty much null and void, and he walked away pretty much free. Now, here's my question, and I meant to ask this earlier. Is any of the accusations that KP brought up about the Discord and having minors in there and stuff, just to clarify, chat, is all of that true, or are there other allegations made against him that are not related to this? Because I think that that's what I was trying to figure out. Again, I'm with Beckett. The DA Games thing is just way too convoluted. And I really don't want to touch any of that either. Okay, I'm sorry. Are the accusations about Chris and Will having minors in their Discord and doing deviant behavior, I guess, is any of that true? The stuff that KP was talking about. Or did she, I don't want to say that she made it up, but, or is KP wrong? I'll say that. There was more to it? Okay, I got you. Oh boy.
This, of course, is just the beginning of the problem, because you can't trust KP. She lies all the time. For example, let's just look at how she frames the story with Chris.
Not to mention the fact that Chris himself has admitted to and bragged about a little sex crime that Steven brushed off as a sex joke.
KP is lying to you here. Once again, firstly, Chris apologized to KP about 2 years ago. And secondly, this was a joke. But with Chris, you've got literally the reverse of that situation where he does admit it's a fuck up, says that he's sorry. And it's like that.
By the way, I love that picture of KP and Saber. I love that picture. That picture is so good. I love that picture. Now remind me, chat, who did that picture? I think Beckett, I don't think, I know. I know Beckett gives that person credit. I just can't remember their name right now. And I feel awful for not remembering. I know, that's hilarious. Very funny.
Feels like it's not enough 2 years later. So, yeah, I kind of want to be clear about that, because I think that's something that you are going to catch flack for. Chris made up a gross story, and I'd ask you to bear in mind, this was over a decade ago. Yet, KP chooses to reframe this here into a sex crime. There is a whole section in the first video where KP and I talk about Chris, but make no mistake, KP wants to see this man fired and his entire life ruined for it.
Yep, absolutely. Over a decade later. It's insane to me, chat. Is it Lord Rush? I don't think so. Now, this art right here, no, hold on. This art right here, Cat did. I know that much. This one, I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and look. I thought it was Cat too. Am I muted? Hello? Uh-oh. Are we good? Did anybody hear me? Uh-oh. Was that muted on the other screen? Really? Hold on. I sure was, chat. I sure was. Whoops! I don't know how that happened. I swear, OBS hates me. Okay, there we go.
This section
Sorry,
also lets
Chad.
us move.
No, it was I apologize. I looked it up in Beckett's second video about Saberspark. The artist of the thumbnails for KP and Saber was Axe. It was Axe. So
Move on to Saberspark, because not only is KP not sorry for leveling false rape accusations against him, she also starts claiming he was abused as a child, showing a screenshot that does not say that, as some sort of bizarre weaponized gotcha.
And once again, for someone who not very long ago had plenty to say on whether Gabriel Brown was or wasn't a groomer, that child predation online is terrible, and he himself has been abused as a child, it seems odd that he has nothing to say.
wait, what? What did I do? Couldn't until I blew my eardrums out. What did I do? Was it when I was muted and just came back on all of a sudden? I'm sorry. Am I too loud, chat? Please tell me I am. Or if I am. Do I need to turn myself down? If I do, please tell me. Let me know. I guess I did by accident. I'm sorry. My fault.
About his own employees' child predation, even to condemn it, let alone him excusing masturbation onto a stranger's clothes.
Okay, middleman, that's a bit of a loaded statement there. When I got loud, when do I not get loud? It's a bit of a loaded statement there, my guy. Just saying. I get loud pretty much all day, every day.
A biohazard and sexual harassment as a joke.
Now, right from the off, KP has always been looking for a way to go at Saberspark. Not just with the accusations themselves, but even in my early conversations with her, KP seems to view the potential of Saberspark's guilt as a potential way for her to save herself.
Is there any other alarming behavior that Saber's displayed publicly? Not anything like this, obviously, but like that is displayed publicly, like anyway, that people are concerned about?
Honestly, I mean, Saber seems to me, having gone through kind of what's in front of me, a bit of an asshole. But he's a YouTuber. It's not unusual. But not really. I can't. No one else I've seen is making any claims against Saber or anywhere near the fucking nature of the Emmy claims. From his perspective, I can see.
No. I can. No, I just feel bad.
At the time, I read this as some kind of genuine remorse, but as things have moved on, it is abundantly clear that KP is not sorry in the least.
Nope.
This bitch is not sorry for what she did to Saberspark. She's sorry it didn't work. We'll get.
Yep, 100%. She's sorry that she got caught, that it didn't work out, that she fumbled the ball on this, and everything else in between. Absolutely. And again, chat, I would argue that this eventually would have been found out. Emmy would have been found out. Whatever. Had they tried to keep her anonymous or whatever that they were trying to do, it would have been found out regardless that it was Emmy. And all of this would have came out eventually. It wouldn't have mattered.
Get into this further later, but one of KP's big problems is that she is completely delusional. During our conversations, I basically had to lay out very clearly the situation she and others had created for themselves in going after Saberspark in this way. I know that there is still an interest from other people in going after Saber and going after the DA Games group. I think those people are mental, if I'm honest. I think that the reality is that a video like this very much gives Saber carte blanche. In the eyes of a lot of people. It's an unsubstantiated rape allegation. He's a victim of that. He is an actual victim. Which means now anyone who produces a hit piece on Saber, the immediate response to that from basically anyone who's not ingrained in the I Hate Saber crowd is going to be, you're making a hit piece on somebody with who's had false rape accusations against them. That's like, sort of like the line, and that is rough content to produce. It makes him a very difficult target if somebody did want to go after him. So we'll see. Some people.
Well, I mean, look at what happened with Spoctor. Spoctor had allegations made against him in the beginning. False allegations at that. Women that were going after him vindictively. And again, turned out later on that it ended up the other allegations that were made against him were 100% fact. Not saying, again, I really hope to God that Saber does not do anything like this. And I really hope to God that he does, that nothing like this happens with him. I really hope that he is okay and that he's trying to move on from all of this. And I hope that he gets better. But Spectre is the most recent example that I can think of where he was accused of, essaying people and doing all of that nonsense, and he got cleared, and then, later on he got accused of something else and it turned out to be true. But again, I agree with Beckett that if, God forbid, and I really hope it doesn't, any further allegations or anything else that comes out about Saberspark in regards to like this type of story, it's going to be looked over with the fine-tooth fucking comb. As it should. As this should have been handled from the fucking get-go. In all honesty though, chat, I'll even go as far as to say this. This never should have even been a story. Nope. This never should have even been a story. I feel like a bad apology video should make you have to work at McDonald's for a year. Listen, I've worked at McDonald's and it actually was pretty awful. But, I mean, there are good people that work for McDonald's too. But I get what you mean. I get it. I get what you mean. So, she should work an actual job. Yes, 100%. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I worked at Wendy's for... How long was it? 6 years? Yeah, I worked at Wendy's for a long time. And I worked at McDonald's. I've worked at other places here and there, some local places. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's no fucking joke, dude. I've worked in pizza places. I've worked in retail. You name it, I've done it, pretty much. So, no, I agree. She could learn something, absolutely. She could be more grounded and she could be, learn from human beings and not live online. This is also what happens, chat, when you live online. People like this occur.
People don't care about that. A lot of people are more optics brained than they want to admit to. Now at this point, you may be wondering why simple concepts like Saberspark's going to get a lot of grace because you falsely accused him of rape need to be explained to KP like she's a mentally stunted 5-year-old. And that sounds mean, but I'm just giving a description here. KP, to be fair to her, is a trust fund kid nearing 40 who still lives at home with her mother. She doesn't really have any normal human interaction. In fact, as far as anybody is aware...
And that's her own fault. Just saying. That's her own fault. Not anybody else's. She's a grown-ass woman. Now, if she was a kid and, that kind of situation, whatever, fine. But she's a grown-ass woman. She's older than me, not by much. Ugh. But that's still not an excuse. That's still not an excuse. Never has been, nor will it ever be.
This woman has never had a long-term relationship, so it probably shouldn't come as much of a surprise that her understanding of normal human interactions are somewhat lacking. This may go some way to explaining why, in KP's response video, she completely fails to understand why Saberspark is getting so much quote-unquote grace. Saberspark showed evidence not just of his DMs with Emmy displaying what their relationship looked like, but also evidence of how far he was prepared to go to prove his innocence.
Exactly.
KP highlights the fact that Saberspark makes a mistake regarding the timeline in my interview with him.
When given his own testimony on the accusations leveled against him,
Emmy said
his
the
own
same
lapses
thing.
in memory are not painted as proof of malicious lie. His own incorrect...
Did KP... Listen, I have a question. Do you all think, and again, this is mostly just a joke, but if it turns out to be true, I will die laughing. Do y'all think that at some point, KP and Emmy got together, like after, the heat kind of died down from the both of them, and do you think that they both got together and was like, hey guys, and Emmy said, hey, I'll make my first video response, and you can make yours soon after. Wait like a month, so then that way people can forget what I said, and you can say whatever you feel you need to. I swear that's what it seems like. because their videos are almost identical to each other. In length, no. Right? In length, no. But in just the general context of what they both are trying to say and what they're trying to get at, yeah, it seems like that they got together. Now, I'm not saying that they did. I'm just saying this was mostly as a joke. But it does seem kind of odd that they both came out with kind of the same sort of response. Just saying.
Recollection events, as proved by the screenshots he himself provided, are not painted as proof of a malicious lie.
However, what KP completely fails to acknowledge is it doesn't matter, because Saberspark has also got the DMs. We can check in real time whether he is telling the truth. You can misspeak in an interview, it's okay. What you can't do is lie repeatedly in statements, which is what Emmy has done. KP also focuses in on the fact that there was some kind of relationship, so surely that means that something must have happened. And this is why I mentioned earlier that KP doesn't seem to have had any long-term relationships. The only way this dumb as rocks femcel can read human interactions is in some way aggressive. Now, I'm not just saying this without any kind of grounding. KP seems to have a long history of making accusations against people, predominantly that people are in some way attracted to her. Something that...
Oh my god. That is so weird. That is so weird. Listen, I don't know if there's an actual picture floating about of what KP actually looks like. I mean, if there is, there is. I don't know. I haven't seen it. But I'm sorry. But if that... Wait a minute. Back up a second. Is this her right here, chat? That's her? Bro. Okay, I'm sorry. That's a no. It's a no regardless of what you would look like. I'm sorry. That's just no. 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 That's just that's weird. That's weird. To think that almost everyone is in love with you or something, or want to date you, or what? That's weird. And again, doesn't matter what she looks like, that's still weird.
That she, yes, does here in her response video.
This led to a good number of people speaking down to me, harassing me, and sending me death threats largely based on the assumption that I was...
What's up, Astral? How old is KP? She's nearing 40, is what Beckett said. So she's probably about my age, if not maybe like a year or two older. Maybe, give or take, I don't know. He just said that she's nearing 40. That's all he said. He doesn't give an exact age.
I was a bitter, jealous, stupid woman targeting an innocent, successful, intelligent man for the sin of not dating me. To which I'd like to respond by saying, Steven, I'm just not that into you.
KP is obsessed with the idea that people must be attracted to her and must like her. In fact, during my conversations with her, despite the fact that I'm making a drama commentary video on her, she starts asking me, what would it take for me to watch her content again? Go on.
Well, you were a fan of the content before, like, controversies happened, right? Like, would you go out of your way to watch a video that wasn't about controversy that I made, like, randomly?
Wait, what?
I mean, I liked some of the analysis stuff, which was negative. I find media analysis generally, well, I used to watch a lot of media analysis stuff. People like Ralph the Movie Maker. It is worth noting here, of course, I had explained to her that my interest in her content and why I knew her was purely based on the horse news drama back in the day, and I should be clear, that's a drama about her not paying her employees, something she still doesn't understand as an issue to this day. But given that KP seems to have no issue...
Whoa, wait a minute. Is that what you guys were talking about earlier about the horse news or the horse drama? I think if I remember her right, she is between you and I, which... Oh, is she? Okay. Beckett's brain was breaking during that. I could tell. Is that what the... Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Is that what that horse thing was? I'm confused. I didn't know about. Well, maybe you guys were talking about it earlier in chat, I think, but I didn't quite catch that, I guess.
Issues with spreading allegations based on rumors, I think we should talk about the other occasion when KP spread false sexual harassment allegations about somebody. Now,
Oh, she does not pay people. Oh, gee, I wonder who else has done that, Illuminati. Oh, gee, I wonder who else has done that.
I didn't include this in the first video because I can't fully evidence it, but I was told this story with remarkable detail by 3 separate people. And the TLDR is that while at a convention in the 2010s, KP was walked back to her hotel by one of the con staff. She would then spin this into him sexually harassing her, as he was clearly deeply in love with her. And
What? What?
while no logs for this story exist, I did ask KP about it, to which she responded, shockingly, by talking about one of her former editors. Just how many accusations has this psycho put out there?
Hey, thanks for talking to me.
Alright, fine.
So I'm totally blindsided by Casey's take on me. Like, I wish if I was coming off that way, she would have told me. So I was wondering if you had any, like, additional information about that, because I'm, like,
Sure.
horrified, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, I can, I don't blame you for finding that kind of a bit blindsiding, because I think it's difficult. So, I mean, I can give you my take generally, because it's, I think part of this comes down to, like, how the fandom worked, and the fact that it was very non-confrontational. But I think
It's such a, like a historian answer, but okay.
well, I think part of it is,
Yeah, I agree. This interview is so goofy because she doesn't at any point even listen to Beckett. Yeah, I agree. I wish I could see Beckett's face. Yeah, you and me both. Just to see his face, like, breaking. Yeah, I can. Oh my god, that'd be so fucking funny.
like, it's difficult, because I see people all the time where they're like, oh, I didn't realize that I wasn't, like, clicking with people, and some of it was, it's a good way to describe some of the stories. Like, some of it was stuff where it was just like, you missed social cues with people.
How many people did you talk to about this? I'm a little concerned.
Well, I mean, I wanted to get, like, a full picture, and also there were some claims about you which I thought were...
Okay, well, you should be concerned because, again, shit's gonna get out there. And, I mean, I'll give you credit where credit is due. You talked to Beckett, and you talked to him, I guess, multiple different times, I guess. Fine, fair. You also talked to Lazy Bedhead, which I'll give you credit for, too. But, I mean, you should be concerned. You should be. If you... Okay, let me just say this. I highly doubt that she knew anything about Beckett prior to talking to him. Or if she did, she knew very little. Okay? She probably was told by Beckett, hey, I want to talk to you about this story, yada, 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 however he framed it, right? But the thing is that with Beckett, though, despite, like, whatever criticism some people may have with him, and they're probably fair, he is very thorough to a degree when it comes to interviewing. He is. He wants to give people side of the story. He wants people to be honest with him. I mean, just like with any other interviewer, like with me, I would want people to be as honest as possible when talking with me because that's what I would want. And that's what my audience would want. Right? But I don't go as... Okay, hold on. I'm trying to think of how to word this. Beckett and I are different interviewers in the sense that he does a more in-depth, like, synopsis of this person, where I can, you know, depending on how you want to look at it, I just talk to the person just to get to know them. You know, that's what I do. I think that's a bit of a difference. Yeah, sure. Do I try to look into that person as much as I can, depending on what they're about and that kind of thing? Yes. Yes, absolutely. But overall, Beckett is a more informational interviewer, I guess, and has the ability to be able to do so than what I probably could. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Could I? Yeah, and I've gotten that criticisms before, too, when talking with certain people. Yes, that's all fair. But the thing is that how I look at it is that I just talk to the person who wants to get to know them and see what they're like on, maybe not necessarily on a personal level, but just to get to know them like on a, you know, if it does come to it a personal level, or if not, you know, just get to know them as a person or whatever. That's how I view it. Yes, he's like a British Columbo. Yes, exactly, Seal. Yes. Yeah, exactly, Seal. That's 100% correct. I don't know much about current Beckett, but he has always been pretty level-headed. Unless you flat out rub him the wrong way, then you ain't gonna get any grace period. Yes. Absolutely.
You know, it needed substantiating, because I didn't think they were fair to you. And I mentioned the essay story from one of the cons, which was mentioned to me by a few people, and I saw mentions of just when I was going through sort of like general takes on your history, which I can't substantiate. There's no logs for.
What? For Emmy?
No, there was a claim that while you were at one of the cons, one of the staff offered to walk you back to the hotel room, and then you basically said that this person was going to essay you.
What the fuck is going on? I don't know what that is. I would need more information.
I can have a dig. I mean, I have heard it from a few people, so I don't know whether it's a rumor or something that spiraled. But yeah,
the only thing I think it could be is after the drama I had, after my first thing, Bob, I had an editor, Jordan, who got very attached to me in an unhealthy way, and when I kind of tried to cut him off, he lashed out. I think he made a video. He went to Horse News, like the whole thing. And I think I told BabsCon staff.
Wait a minute. Is Horse News like for My Little Pony news? Or is that something else?
Was this at BabsCon, out of curiosity?
I'm not sure. So I'd have to go and check the notes. This is actually the last conversation I would ever have with KP. It occurred on the 24th, shortly after the release of my first video, because what really surprised KP was finding out that nobody liked her. And if I'm to give you a flavor of this interview...
How did I just figure that out? I don't know. It's just a guess. I figured that it was, but I didn't know. True, Wookie, true. The other one was Equestria Daily. Ah, gotcha. Gotcha.
It's basically me explaining to an adult woman why she has been, for her whole life, unable to make any actual friends. I mean, I think the big thing was, like, Casey was just sad, more than anything else.
Well, I mean, that's kind of my frustration with it, because part of it is, like, this would have been helpful if I knew what the elephant in the room is, but, like, I know Casey means well, but it's kind of insulting that I'm just so clueless and dumb, apparently, that she needs to mentor me without even having that direct conversation.
Well, like, I think one of the stories I heard was, like, your relationship with Jeff. Which was...
Jeff?
Yeah, Ace Best.
Oh, okay.
And it's like... It seemed like you didn't understand why he didn't want to be friends, or why he just didn't click with you. And, like, this seemed to cause, like, a bit of drama.
No, it was more than that, because I think I just asked for something more casual than that. And he got really mad because I had to make him be direct. But, like, that was what I mean. Like, even before all this, like, Casey kind of talked to me like, you know, there are some learning steps, and I'm just like, Casey, like, can you politely get my side before you assume what is happening? So I don't know. That's an aside.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's difficult. I mean, Emmy was part of this circuit for a while, and you said last night in DMs, you were like, oh well, it never occurred to me to ask Casey about Emmy. And when we spoke like the first time, and I was like, well, you knew it was Emmy from the start. Why didn't you look into her? And again, this isn't just you. No one's looked into fucking anybody in this, so this isn't just a you problem. But like, why do you think it is that you never thought to like look into or ask anyone about Emmy?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. I've watched 0 seconds of MLP, but I know way too much about brony shit. I used to watch MLP back in the day when I was a kid. You know, every so often. I wasn't like obsessed with it, But yeah, when I watch it every so often was a part of my cartoon watch list, I guess you could say, when I was a kid. Yes, absolutely. But I never really got into it a whole lot. And when I heard that it was getting revamped with Friendship is Magic, I was like, oh, geez. And that's when I found out about the brony stuff and all of that other stuff. And yeah, so since then, I've kind of not really tuned into any of that nonsense, which that's just not my cup of tea. Again, I know that there are men and women out there who have their love of My Little Pony, okay? And they are probably very decent people who just want to, go about their fandom, don't want to be bothered, whatever. Fine. But I'm sorry, the people that have came out so far that we've learned about anyway, that are part of the Brony fandom, like Dan's Burst and Brony Fandom and all that, it's insane. And I know that, again, I will say this, I know that it's only a select few, give or take, that, and again, I'm sure that there are more people out there that are like this, sadly, but I don't know. It's just not my thing either. I agree. Again, do I hold any ill will against people who are actually fans of the show or anything? No. But, I mean, yeah. So, there you go. Stick to cool stuff like Warhammer or X-Men. There you go. I mean, Mr. Huck was watching Spider-Man, the 90s cartoon the other night. And we pre-ordered the Wolverine game, which I'm really looking forward to him getting. Oh my god, that's going to be so cool. I've heard so many good things about that. I can't wait for him to play it and for us to play it if we can. That's going to be fun. Yeah.
I think I made the assumption that, because I know a lot of other girls,
Agreed,
a
Reaper.
handful of girls this has happened to.
By the way, hello.
But
I didn't say hi to you.
Sometimes tend to fade out of the fandom because there's issues with harassment in general. And things like that. So I assumed she was part of a pattern, I guess. And she just kind of, distanced herself from her pony friends because this thing happened and it upset her. It made her think of...
Yeah, but again, that still doesn't excuse why you didn't look into this. Why none of you looked into her. None of you did. You all just took her at her word. And again, KP, this doesn't fucking help you at all either, considering the fact that you had her revise her statement. Everything that you are saying right now is just flat out either a lie or you made it up.
What she's claiming, so if that makes sense.
Or both.
In the case of KP, it is always someone else's fault. She is always the victim. And the reason I include this is because it brings me on to why I am leaking my DMs with KP. Now, normally I have a pretty hard rule about not doing this, but in this case, I actually feel like my hand is being forced a little bit. KP presents my coverage as deeply biased in favor of Saberspark, which, I mean, I'm biased by the fact that he's innocent, sure, but there is something...
I mean... Yeah, that's how Beckett is biased. And not only that, but he had help with this story. He had Diaplok help him. And, I'm sure that they've helped him out with other stories here and there too. It wasn't just... And Jenny looked into this too with him. So Beckett didn't just do this by himself. He had other people help him out with this story. So, yeah, if he's biased against the fact that this man is innocent, then okay, fine.
Deeper here, the actual reason KP stopped talking to me, it's because her current response video is not the one she was planning to make. In fact, originally, she planned to go after Casey. Apparently...
Oh. Did Saber only talk to Beckett? That I know of, yes. Now, Fauci was there. Fauci was there during their call, but I don't know if Fauci ever said anything. Again, Beckett didn't show it. Fauci was probably just there for support just in case something came up. But just like how Lio was in one of the calls with KP. Lio was in one of the calls with KP at first. But he said very minimal or he asked that I saw anyway, he asked very minimal questions. So Falgi was just sitting there twiddling pasta in his fingers. Oh, I'm sure he was doing more than that. But yeah, I wouldn't doubt that if he was doing something like that. Yeah, absolutely. And he would probably confirm that. No, fucking Falgi. I love you, Falgi. But this is an interesting thing. This is interesting. Well, he probably did. If I were to take a guess, he probably did, but for the sake of time, I guess that it wasn't included in there or whatever. I don't know. It's just, maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't. Who knows? I don't know. He made a fest with it while listening. Oh my god. Bruh. Never change, Falgi. Never change. But this is an interesting tidbit here. That she planned to go after Casey? Interesting. This is the DMs. This is from June. Hey, I wanted to get your opinion on what to do with Casey. Beckett, well, I mean, you can reach out to her. I think everyone is still just dealing with things, but see what happens after the next Saber vid is out. This was back in June. KP, I mean more. Like, what's your read? I don't think she wants to talk to me. Beckett, I'm guessing not, but what's your goal? Patching things up? KP, no. Honestly, I am really uncomfortable with how Casey characterized me, but don't know if it's worth a try from perspective, I guess. What?
Apparently, she wasn't happy with the way that Casey had characterized her, but having spent hours talking to KP, I'm going to be honest with you, if anything, Casey was way too nice. Behind the scenes through this entire thing, KP has been flip-flopping between different sides depending on who's speaking to her. And these DMs come shortly after KP had a conversation with Emily, in which I've been reliably informed by the third party she completely rolled over. At one point, and bear in mind that this is second-hand testimony for which I can't present any evidence because the call wasn't recorded, KP said that she didn't have any sympathy for Saberspark as the allegations were being treated as no big deal, while the harassment her and Emmy were receiving was far worse. This
Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow.
also goes some way to explain why it's taken so long for KP to actually respond. Half the time, people have seemingly been talking her off the ledge of what she's planning to put into this damn thing. And it's worth noting that some of what was in the August draft of the response video did actually leak, because Cartoonshi would put out this tweet in reference to it. But being the professional that I am, I have saved the best for last, because I want to show you the last message I would ever receive from KP.
Oh. Oh my god. That's not a message, that's a whole fucking book.
Because it is completely fucking mental. Beckett, I have now reviewed your video feeling emotionally prepared to do so, and it's clear I was working against a bias throughout the entire project. For example, my comment saying, "Are you cool with me?" was not about whether people hated me, it was about whether I felt emotionally safe in an intense moment, which I didn't. There are more examples like this in your coverage. I also...
Yeah, oh, I forgot about Wall of Text. I totally forgot about Wall of Text. Yeah, Bro. Oh my god.
I also believe you made ethically questionable editorial choices. Your timeline and screenshot analysis in the second video risks being toxic, given trauma memory theory, a real documented effect, yet you didn't hold Saber to the same standard you held Emily, something Emily herself pointed out in her video.
Oh my fucking god. Oh my god.
His dick was out!
Metalman87 super chatted $2. KP has an AI boyfriend I can deal.
Thank you for the 2 metal. Oh, does she have a... Oh, no, wait, never mind. Does she have a Henry? For those who have been following you guys know what I'm talking about. Does she have a Henry? by any chance? Her own version of a Henry? Bruh. Oh, dear God in heaven. Thank you for the 2, though, Metal Man. I appreciate it.
I don't know what Saber told you off the record, but it's evident it shaped your narrative in ways I couldn't respond to. The same applies to your handling of the Casey and Henry stories. I barely know Henry, so what you repeated was gossip unrelated to the topic, which I couldn't clarify. If Casey or Henry want clarification on the unsupported accounts they heard, they are welcome to contact me. I'd like to just pause here for a second and highlight the fact that this crazy bitch is complaining about me apparently spreading rumors while she is leveling false rape allegations. Unfucking believable. My weed use was framed as a stoner caricature, when in reality it was a coping mechanism for a highly triggering situation tied to my clinically diagnosed PTSD. I took the call with you to clarify that
God. She just seems like the type. I mean, Metal Man, you're probably not wrong. Bruh. Okay, hold on. I want to go back to something here.
she is leveling false rape allegations. Second and highlight on the unsupported accounts they heard, they are welcome to contact me. I'd like to just pause here for a second and highlight the fact that this crazy bitch is complaining about me apparently spreading rumors while she is leveling false rape allegations. Unfucking believable. My weed...
Exactly. Exactly. Wow.
Use was framed as a stoner caricature, when in reality it was a coping mechanism for a highly triggering situation tied to my clinically diagnosed PTSD.
My weed use was framed as a stoner caricature. Why do you care? Why does... What? Okay, if that's... Listen. I know people who have used marijuana as for medical purposes. Okay, I know that's very much a thing. Whatever, you know, I don't judge people that do that kind of thing. As long as you're a responsible adult, I could care less. I don't care. But it's marriage iguana. That's funny. But to get like Casey Tron levels, like what chat was saying earlier, of high, that's a bit much.
PTSD. I took the call with you to clarify that the issues of child safety in the DA games community and Saber's involvement in that was misread in your video. Instead of hearing me out, you made assumptions, painted Emily as a liar based solely on Saber's word, and her reputation applies a perfect victim bias, also a real documented effect of trauma, which is both ethically flawed and harmful. You underplayed my intelligence, dismissed my emotional state, and allowed Saber's unchallenged, off-the-record statement to influence your betrayal of me. This reinforced the jealous girl archetype in your work, a mischaracterization.
This reinforced the jealous girl archetype in your work? What? Get suited, but there is a time and a place. I mean, true, and that's fair. That's fair, but listen. As long as you're responsible, listen, there are times where you just get high and it's funny and it's fun. Like with Julie. Julie is an example. Julie is an example, at least, of someone who is very, very funny, regardless of whether or not she's high. But when she was high in that Lio stream, that was hilarious. Because of just her reactions in general, and it was fucking great. Even if she wasn't high, I'm sure that she would still be very entertaining. I have no doubt of that. But the fact that she was... the fact that she was, and these are her words, zooted, was hilarious. Okay? There is a time and a place, I agree, but yeah. There's exceptional circumstances, I guess. It just depends, but...
Failing to hold Saber accountable for his public lies, which I can document, signals to others that legitimate concerns will be met with gaslighting and silence. That's a dangerous precedent for victims and whistleblowers.
Bruh.
Frankly, it was a mistake to speak to you.
It was a mistake to speak to you. Yeah, there you go, Metal Man. Don't get high and talk about rape allegations. Yep, there you go. There you go.
You took advantage of my time and openness in a difficult situation. I assumed you were a sympathetic ally, someone who would point out my mistakes but highlight the original point of the video, the child safety. But you painted me as a hopeless fool, acting on ambition.
But you are, though. But you are, though. Oh my god, the levels of fucking cope in this response. Are you kidding me? If I were Beckett, I would be laughing my ass off right now. And I'm sure that he probably was. I have no doubt of that. Oh my god.
And anger, which was never my intention. I had clarified with Casey months before your video went live, who Saber also influenced by framing events in a way I couldn't counter beforehand. Feel free to check those screenshots. I also let you convince me Emily was purely lying, when the situation was much more complicated than that. I believe there was miscommunication on both sides, but Saber is at fault for social cue assumptions at the very least. For the record, telling someone you have a crush on them is never consent for sexual conduct, period. My hope is that in the future, you'll choose to keep what I said in mind and explore the complex states of victims by citing psychological studies and be a stronger advocate for victims rather than an uncritical amplifier for those who ask. I will be ceasing all contact with you, but have cleared Lio to speak on my behalf if additional information needs to be clarified. Now this is all, obviously, quite a lot to go through, so we're going to break it down into sections and talk about it a little bit, because my god, KP is out of her fucking mind. I actually don't know quite how to respond to somebody this delusional, but I'm going to give it my best.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't know how to respond to that. Jesus Christ.
Shot. I'm going to begin by just repeating myself, because I feel that's the only way that I might somehow get through to KP. Saberspark actually has evidence. Not only that, he went to the extent of pulling his house apart, looking for old hard drives, and actually putting his wallet to work, trying to gather more evidence to prove his innocence. He shouldn't have to do this, by the way. The burden is on you guys, and you...
Exactly. That's what I was saying earlier, chat. He shouldn't have had to do this. He shouldn't have. But the fact that he did, and the fact that he actually took the time out to find this stuff and to get this stuff together, 07's to you, sir.
You guys have no proof. You're just leveling false allegations against somebody. You are not in the right here. You're actually the villain. Frankly, what you've done to Saberspark is abusive. This is, and I will repeat myself from the first video, one of the worst things you can do to another human being. But moving on to the section about weed and me painting KP as some sort of stoner archetype, I didn't paint you as a stoner, KP. You said this in our first conversation.
Wrong chat, KP. You gave me the screen cap instead of the chat.
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna lie, I might have taken an edible before this, because this is just so fucking hard to get through.
As for this beginning part of the next section, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not really sure what KP means here. I don't know whether she just misphrased something, but this sentence doesn't make a lot of sense to me, which helpfully brings me on to talking about KP's intelligence. I'd ask you to know that KP constantly highlights the fact she feels people speak down to her. And I've just got to be honest here, the reason people treat you like an idiot, KP, is because you are, in fact, an idiot. I'm actually not trying to be mean here. You're just kinda dumb. I mean, let's be honest, what sort of a freak puts jealous girlfriend archetype into an angry Discord note? The only way KP can even process reality is by talking about it like it's a fucking TV show. KP is completely disconnected from reality. Normally this would just be very funny, but she's constantly accusing people of serious crimes, which sort of tints that perspective a little bit. Finally, let's just talk about her takes around Saberspark and Emily. The truth is that KP cannot believe Saberspark is innocent. He must be guilty of something. In her most recent response video, KP makes the insane claim that Saberspark is abusive for wanting Emily to take a pregnancy test.
Exactly. That is unbelievably ass. And when she said that part, chat, that's when I flipped the fuck out. That's when I had to walk away. That is unbelievably malicious. I cannot believe that this woman had the fucking audacity to sit there and say that Saberspark forced Emmy to take a pregnancy test when she knew goddamn fucking well what that was legitimately for. But yet, she wants to make up this narrative in her fucking head that Saberspark is just this evil fucking person, and it just has to be taken down. I don't get it. I don't get it.
His own admission of trying to force a woman to take a pregnancy test against her will is not seen as a violation of consent, privacy, and bodily autonomy, but instead as a horrible event he was made a victim of by the girl he had targeted.
Which is further fuel to the fire that this woman has never had a long-term partner. And finally, KP's sign-off note to me, asking me to cite psychological studies and be a stronger advocate for victims. Well, on the psychological studies side, as I do not have a qualification in psychology, I think I'll give that one a miss, rather than trying to give a layman's interpretation. I think we have enough of that on YouTube, if I'm being completely honest. But I do want to talk about KP's motivations. As she notes here, many people have accused her of clout chasing.
A lot of my intent with the video and what I chose to platform in it was assumed. Concerns to me that are so much legitimate were and continue to be brushed off as clout chasing or jealous woman scorn mentality.
Now, I personally do not believe that KP only did this to get some clout. Though it is true from my own conversations with her.
I don't know about that one, Beckett. I don't know about that one. That one's a bit of a hard sell for me. Now, whether or not what her full intention was with it, and again, we can only pretty much speculate at this point and form our own conclusion to it, I guess. But I don't know. Maybe it was a distraction. Maybe it wasn't. Well, yeah, maybe it only wasn't for clout. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't know.
She clearly feels a little inadequate and like her life hasn't quite gone the way she planned. No, I think the reasons are much more simple. KP is a deeply vindictive woman. She didn't do any of this because she cares about victims. She did it because KP feels like everyone else passed her by. And the reasons can't be her. What remains of her incredibly fragile ego won't allow her to accept that. In KP's worldview, her channel failed because Chris told a story about her one time, or maybe Saberspark twisted people against her, when the reality is far more simple. KP, your content just about got by when you were dealing with the brony community, but you have nothing to offer a modern day viewer, which is perhaps the greatest irony of this entire drama from your perspective. Regardless of the outcome, positive or negative, it wouldn't have actually helped you. Nobody was watching beforehand, and going forward, nobody's watching in the future. ILove kimpossiblealot is a fascinating relic of an older time on YouTube, when people who didn't really have any talent could build some kind of a fan base just based off the fact that there wasn't much competition. It's undeniable that KP saw the response to a Lily Orchard video, the first video in a very, very long time that gained any kind of traction, and decided that that might be a viable route forward for her.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And even Ant, as you guys have called him, who I'll get to in a minute, has even said that before. Has even said that to me today, too.
I have no idea what
agree.
the future holds for this chick, but after a debacle like this, it's certainly not on YouTube. Now, this is obviously a lot more random.
You think she did it to distract her from Lily Orchard, Reaper? Oh, you said Tino at first. You meant Orchard. Okay. Maybe. Now, I have not seen that video. So, I couldn't tell you, but yeah. So, I won't say, me personally, I will not say for sure. But just based upon the subject matter itself, I would kind of have to agree that that's what she was hoping for, is to get that kind of traction again. I will agree with that. Now, as far as her distracting people on her involvement, that I don't know, because again, I haven't seen the video. So I couldn't tell you. But again, I will agree with like the subject matter of going after another YouTuber if they have allegations against them and getting traction off of that I can see happening. But again, I don't know.
Than something I'd put out normally as structured content, but I have to be honest, I'm just really sick of this woman. KP is infuriating to deal with, and after watching this whole thing unfold for months now, Seeing this 10-minute piss-poor response kind of just threw me over the edge. There is, however, one last thing I want to discuss from her video before we move on.
So moving forward, how can we, as the online community, do better? What changes can we make to improve child safety or our fandom spaces? What kind of conversations should we be having? How about power dynamics and fandom spaces and the people that abuse them? Creators turning their fan bases into dating pools? Grooming behaviors passed off as normal internet interactions? These were the kinds of conversations I was intending to spark with my last video. This was my intent. And with the end of the video, I'd like to close off with a note about accountability. Throughout the whole ordeal, I have seen a lot of people attributing my lack of response to mean a lack of accountability, that I was avoiding the controversy and that I was trying to erase or ignore it. Something I invite the audience to think about is what accountability is, what it looks like, and what it isn't. Someone jumping to respond as soon as possible or through as many avenues as possible is not indicative of taking accountability, especially if that response is to victimize/murder yourself in the face of accusations and criticism. True accountability is stating whether or not you did something on its face, regardless of any intentions or effect, and without excusing yourself or attacking the accuser. Example, I made the original video. It was bad, and I understand that. Jumping to dismiss someone as cloud chasing and trying to justify why what happened isn't the word they're using is not accountability. It's obfuscation and defense. And you didn't need to defend something that didn't happen. Anyway, this was heavy.
It is criminal that KP is so lazy that after years of being on YouTube, she can't even read a script properly. She has had 4 months to make this video, and that was the best take? Are you fucking kidding me? As for what she actually says here, KP is incapable of taking any kind of accountability. It is laughable that she thinks she can start a conversation or in some way dictate how other people should be acting. I like the way she invites the audience to consider what accountability is. KP, I'd like to invite you to consider what accountability is. Not to mention the fact that she is, by going after Saberspark, once again blaming the victim. God, this chick is just vile. No wonder all her friends distance from her. 100%. And with that, I think I have gone over everything I wanted to cover. Thanks for joining my rage-induced ranting. I promise that the next video I make will be, not done over the course of a single night. I do have a couple more in the works, so I have been taking a little bit of a break recently. You can expect to see some of those appearing over the coming weeks. So, if you've enjoyed this for whatever reason, please remember to like and subscribe. And thank you to all our current subscribers and members, particularly those of you at molding level. The Yule, Stevio5, Ragemonger, Mr. Gamer, Viper Sensor, Juice Snail House, KHuck Car, Sapir Pearwood, Kai Rise, Rocky BP, Nim the Gudra, Advocate Shell, Base Toz, Seabold, Letters of Sky, Rotting Brain, Dr. Zeus, Hippo, Stationary Name, and Star Sprinter. And let me leave you with this. One thing I said to KP through our conversations was that if she actually took some kind of accountability and apologized, worked at her content, maybe people would forgive her and she could move on.
Shut up, middleman.
I don't understand why she refuses to do that. But maybe in the future we'll see more insanity out of her. You never know. But I think the word entitled comes up a lot. I don't...
Yeah, and narcissist.
Looky.
No, it's just like being punched in the chest, but yeah.
As always, more content to come. Peace.
There you go, chat. There you go. Bravo, Beckett. Thank you, Beckett, for that lovely video. We appreciate you. 07s to you, sir, for that.